Hello everyone and welcome back to Calmlands. This is the multiplayer co-op with Nordic farming and we've reached episode number 79. We're down by the BGA and I can see that the lorry is steaming past already. That is taking some fresh pig food made in the pig food factory to our pigs because they are running a little bit low. But we've started down here today because we can see all of the chaff that has been ferried to the bunker after our rather large forage harvest from Lakeside Field last month. And we have filled these bunkers. I think they have 1.1 million litres in each. And yes, they got compacted and covered up now. So that is pretty good. But for today, Nordic and I have some more grain harvests to conquer, starting with Lakeview Field. So this is where we left the harvesters last time after we did the grain harvest of Hillside Field and Pig Farm Field. I think it was soybeans and I can't remember what we got out of Pig Farm Field. I think it was potentially oats. But now we are moving on to Lakeview Field, and then we've got a couple of other harvests to do. That's right, we've got Lakeview, Arrow Down and Cowman. It looks like South Bank was not ready in time, so that's going to have to wait till next month. But in these three fields we have wheat in Arrow Down, we have soybeans in Lakeview, and in Cowman we have barley. There we go, fantastic. So we can raise up the header, get the harvester unfolded, and I think we'll have to set the GPS course for harvesting this field. Right, GPS set. That took a little while to set because we are actually going to go across this field rather than up and down like we normally do. But we're going to see to the headland first of all. So let's get these lovely luscious soybeans harvested up. Headland first, and then we'll be doing rows side to side. There we go, we can thrash her off, get the pipe unfolded, and that's the soybeans all harvested. And thanks to the fantastic lizard Colossus, Nordic and I have only had to unload twice for this whole field, because we have a gargantuan hopper capacity, which is really useful. And for the eagle-eyed, you would have noticed that before the first unload, Nordic did actually completely fill up his harvester, but I still had probably about 8% capacity left, so he actually did ditch a couple of thousand litres of soybeans into my hopper, which allowed him to finish the row, and I still had enough spare capacity to finish the row as well. But there we go, soybeans emptied. Our auto driver is heading off to drop that at the new farm silo down by the production area. And Nordic and I are going to be tackling Arrow Down next, which has wheat in it. And we'll have to tell the auto drivers with the mother bins to go to their new positions. Just need to empty this mother bin of soybeans. And Nordic is taking the soybeans down to the farm silo. Right, the mother bin is off to its parking location, and Nordic and I are clear to crack on with Arrow Down, and we are going to have straw as byproduct, so we will head on in and see if we need to enable the straw swath. Yes, we will. It always seems to default to not allowing the straw swath for some reason. And yes, whilst harvesting, Nordic and I have found couple of areas of terrain where it's too undulating for the header and it does miss patches, but we come and correct it later on. But look at this, some fantastic wheat. It's glistening and waving in the wind. But here we go, we are going to move on and get this harvest all done, and then at some point, I think maybe today, maybe next session, we're going to have some straw to clear. We'll have to bale it up and get the bale collectors in this field and pig farm field. But leave this harvest with us, and we'll see you when we're finished. And that is all the wheat unloaded. Another harvest done. And it's a bit like Piccadilly Circus down here. We've got the mother bin, trucks, harvesters. It is very vibrant indeed. Right, we can fold up the harvester. Unfortunately, the header trailers are quite far away. I think they are over by the entrance to the yard actually. So we're going to have to go a little bit cross country to get back to the yard, but that is fine. And the plan is that the lizard colossuses are going to be parked up. Well, we'll give them a wash and a service first. And the next field that we have to harvest is Cowman. But I think Nordic and I are thinking that we are going to get some of our workers to operate that harvest for us. And we are going to bring the old New Holland harvesters out for some service. Yes, they have been mothballed for quite a long time, ever since we bought these Lizard Colossus harvesters. And it's about time we gave them a bit of a job. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And yes, I am speedling my way over Lakeview, about to hit Pig Farm. And the idea is that whilst those auto drivers or those workers are doing the harvest for Cowman Field, which is barley actually, we are going to focus on the straw. So Nordic and I will grab the balers, we'll tackle the straw that's in Pig Farm Field and Arrowdown. Right, bit unorthodox us driving pretty much all the way across Calmlands with the header attached, but we needed to do it. And we can deposit them here and get them washed and serviced up. Hitched up, and we've got a rather wide berth turn to make with this header trailer. It is very long. And oh, looks like we have a tractor in the wash zone already, but that's not a problem. We should be able to reach. They've been put through some hard work, these harvesters and the headers. And there we go. Serviced, washed, and now parked up. So I am going to be switching over to these New Holland harvesters and getting them set up for the Cowman Field barley harvest. Yeah, it's been a little while since we sat in this girl, and I think we are attached to the header. That is grand. So let's get this out of the shed and over to a reasonable starting position. I think the cow farm yard is probably the best place. I think we'll actually park up here because it keeps the header trailers out of the yard in case we have any trucks moving through there, and we can line up with the corner of Cowman Field to start the harvest. Now, I completely forgotten that this header actually has a trailer built into it, so there's no concerns about leaving a trailer in any truck's way. So we will actually start in the cow yard as first planned. Second harvester, and I think we've got a bit of post negotiating to get out of this shed. And you might notice that the Calm Farm bank account is looking pretty good. Nordic and I have seen it creep up by around 200,000 per hour for the last few hours, and the main thing we think it is down to some donut sales. And I think that's largely because we had quite a lot of eggs at the chicken farm where we placed a shed that automatically distributes them down to our pallet storage yard, and that in turn distributes it to the donut factory. So we think the donuts have got back up and running and sold for a pretty good price, which is good news. And there we go. Our harvesting workers are away, harvesting the barley, and they're depositing straw. And Nordic has set up the truck drivers to come and collect from them when they are ready to unload. So we will see some of that in action, hopefully. But in the meantime, I think Nordic and I are going to crack on with the straw collecting. and straw baling, that is. We'll do the baling and then we'll have some auto drivers come and collect the bales. I think he's having a bit of a problem with this particular driver. He's about to drive in the crop. Just taking the drone up to have a look at how these guys are getting on. Looks like they've stopped to do some unloading. I think the first guy might be full already, or actually just waiting for this truck to come along and unload whilst he is working. All right, yeah, look at that. He is going to run alongside him by the look of it. That's pretty good. Right, we are going to leave these workers to it, and Nordic and I are going to crack on with some baling. Right, we are in the Deutz, Nordic is in the JCB, and we're going to grab the balers and make a start on at least Pig Farm Field, which is the first field we harvested which had straw as a deposit. So we will bale up that field and see how much time we got left to move on to the next. Oh, there we go, 91% left in this one, so that's a good start. Now, these are old balers, but they do the job fantastically. I don't think we really need to replace them unless Nordic and I fancy doing something a bit fancier. Right, let's switch on and lower away. We don't need the beacons on anymore. And I don't think we've got GPS set for this field, so it's going to be a manual job, but that's all right with me. Go. So we have finished baling up Pig Farm Field, and in the distance you can see our workers busily working away doing the harvesting of Cowman Field. We will nip through the gap here and inspect how they're getting on. Oh yeah, it looks like the carters are staying in close proximity to the harvesters, but the harvesters keep stopping and leaving these big chunky swaths of straw, which is interesting. Looks like this guy's coming to unload and take some barley, and I think they're running the barley to the old farm silo, as that's pretty close, so it means that they're not going for a long time to unload the barley to the farm silo down by the production site and then taking an age to come back. So it is nice and close quarters. And yes, they got the two harvesters working in tandem there, which is pretty good. But I think Nordic and I are done for the day. We've obviously done two big harvests, the soybeans in Lakeview and then the wheat in Arrowdown. And then we've left the barley harvest to our worker friends, and that is quite interesting indeed. So we will have to come back and see how they have got on next time. Will be interesting. But here we go, they are away and colliding. Yes, Nordic has had to stop doing some of the baling at certain points to come and correct some of these guys, and seems to be the case again. This harvester can't move forward because the truck is in the way. They are not the best of teammates sometimes, these automated drivers. There we go. See? Absolutely causing carnage. But we will leave them to it. Hopefully they will figure it out. But that is it for today. Hope you have enjoyed watching. If you have, remember to drop a like and subscribe. Check out Nordic's channel for his perspective of today's session. And if you've got any tips, tricks, or things you'd like us to do, feel free to leave a comment. Hope to see you again next time on Calm Lands. And until then, we'll catch you later. Cheers all. Bye bye.